Okay, take number 2. I love technology. I'm going to try something a little bit different tonight. I'm going to be running my Mark IV all nice and properly mic'd up with my Shure SM57 into my iRig 2 into my one phone over here. I'm going to be having this phone over here, having be a talking mic, also so you could see the guitar instead of just staring at the amplifier the whole time. I already tried recording this earlier, but for some reason did not want to record the mic to the phone on the other side, so that's always fun. Anyways, we're going to start doing this off quickly here. This is my Gibson 80s Explorer. This is from 2023. It's the black one. It's a great guitar. In the bridge pickup, we have a Tom Anderson H3 Plus because it's kind of the secret Metallica pickup because James threw this into either More Beer or So What. I don't remember. So What. I think that he stole this pickup from Kirk because I think Kirk had this in one of his Tom Anderson guitars. I feel like that would make the most sense anyway. But, yeah. Going to be going through my Mesa Oversize 212. It's making up a Celestion Vintage 30 for Shure SM57. ISP decimator in front and in the loop. Nothing else unless I mention it. Speaking of mentioning it, Boss CE2 for the effects loop for cleans because it is a Metallica clean. Alright. Enough clean tone, we're going to the lead channel. Rhythm 2 is a great channel for if you're doing like Danzig, low gain, Marshall stuff, or AC/DC stuff, but we're not doing that right now. I'm not in the mood. So we're going straight to high gain territory. This is with the pull fat and the pull bright both in, so they're off. The pull shift for the presence is on because, quite frankly, I don't like the presence control on this amp, especially compared to the Mark V. And then on the back, we have it on Class A mode and tweed power, so this is as low wattage as the amp can go, and it's still got plenty of low end. I can't remember if I'm on mid-gain or harmonics. I want to say I'm on mid-gain, and then we're on pentode because pentode just has a lot more teeth to it. It's much more aggressive, even though the opposite of the settings that I'm on for those two is the Mark II C Plus settings. Whatever. I like how this sounds better. This is more to my akin. Fun fact about Seek and Destroy, that is the one Metallica song I'm sick of playing, because whenever I would try and find people to jam with around here, and we'd all go, oh, what songs do you know? Oh, I know Seek and Destroy by Metallica. Alright, and that's all we'd end up fucking jamming, because nobody else wants to learn anything. Oh yeah, side tangent on that song. Now, the way I run the Mark IV is very different than how people traditionally run it. And then I'll explain how to do this on 2s and 3s and 5s and 7s later on, because I think that's how they work in the 7. But I've got really tired of how the amp sounds if it's just the treble maxed out and bass and mid nothing. To me, it just sounds really stale and shrill. Here, I'll show you an example of that right now. So, normal way to dial in a mark is just all 10, no bass, no mid, and do the lead gain, lead drive to taste, and that sounds like this. Which, does sound good, and in my opinion, it sounds way better on the 5. But to me, on the 4, it just sounds a little bit lackluster. So I discovered, I can't remember the gentleman's name, but I saw that he was running his bass knob really hot, really higher than normally anyone would. And then it sounds like this. It basically acts as a low mid boost, whereas your treble is your high mid boost. Now, that is exclusive to the 4 in the sense that it's the bass knob doing that. On the 2, 3, 5, and I'm guessing the 7, it would be your mid knob. That would be doing the exact same thing. Though on the 4, maybe just because my Mark IV is so darkly voiced, and funnily enough, mine's a Rev A, so it's supposed to be the brighter of the Mark IVs. But since it's such a dark voice compared to the 5, it feels like it's boosting more of a low mid, whereas with the 5, it's kind of more, frequency-wise, just a little bit higher of a low mid. But yeah, ever since I discovered that, it's made me fall back in love with the 4 again, because before that, when I was running just treble, I just did not like how tinny it was compared to the 5, or even compared to my Synergy 2 CP. But now that I have, discovered that and dialed it in more, I'm enjoying the amp more again. In fact, now, even since that is running it so hot, I can actually bring it back down a little bit. Kind of tighten it up some. There we go. So my Mark IV is an October of 1990 revision A. Show number is 777, which I think is kind of cool. I got it in through a trade for a Gibson I wasn't using anymore. The moment I get it in, it was just in a rack mount kit, so I put a rack mount kit on top of my head, plug it in, not getting any sound on anything. Try manually switching through the channels in the back, nothing. So I figure, here, let me try to plug in the foot switch, see if that'll fix it. Not doing anything. I figure, here, I'll try to unplug the foot switch again. And when I tried to pull it out, it short-circuited the amp, and it started smoking, so that's fun. Really, really hate where they put the foot switch on this amp, because it's underneath the chassis, right next to one of the power tubes. So if you have big hands like I do, and the amp is on, you're trying to unplug it, or if you're at a gig and you just finished the set list and you're trying to unplug your foot switch so you can get going, it's going to be really fun getting that out of there. Vice versa, it's so irritating to try and plug it in, because it's underneath it, and it's a very specific bit, and you can't force it in too hard, you'll break the damn thing. So, I hate where it is, and I wish that he would have just swapped it to where it was on where the AC out is, because I don't know a single soul who still uses an AC out on an amplifier. I think the last time it was ever used was 1985, but, watch, just here. If you use the AC out on any of your amplifiers, comment down below, let me know I'm wrong, I'm a jerk, whatever. But, yeah, on the long chassis heads, I think it's remedied, and it's actually just, on the back, where it normally would be for a foot switch. Yeah, so I hate that. They did that on the Mark V, too, to a lesser annoying extent. They put the power cables connector under the chassis, right next to the transformer. It's just like, I get we're trying to save space, guys, but come on, this is so ridiculous. But, yeah, that's that's really my only gripe with the Ford's design, besides it being such a hassle to work on for a text perspective. That's another rant for another day. Alright, now I'm going to engage an extra EQ because Metallica never not used these amps without an extra EQ going on. From Puppets to Justice to Black Album, they always had a, I believe the brand was Apex. It was a little EQ F2, which is actually a console 500 series EQ that he would just somehow run the effects up with the amps. There's a company called Master Effects that did a clone of it. That's really good. I used to have one. I just sold it because I wasn't using it anymore. And I kind of copied, kind of closely the stereotypical tones that I was using onto my Boss GE7. So now if I ever feel like I just run that instead. So here's the Mark IV without that, just the built-in 5-band. Now here's the GE7 as well. Alright, if I could not mess up my recording software here, I'm going to switch over to my other guitar now. This was being equipped with EMGs because, in my opinion, the best sound the Marks will ever get is when you're boosting them with an EMG-equipped guitar. You can get close with, frontal boost like a Tube Screamer or a EQ, specifically the MXR 6-band in my example, but to me, just EMG, Mark Amp, V30 or G1265, depending on what cab you have. It's just kind of the thrash sound. This is my knockoff BC Rich Igniter. I made a video on if you want to check that out. It has a Quick Connect 81 and then a Vintage 85. I think it's from like the late 80s, 89 or something. But this is to me just the best thrash tone there is. Actually going to bring up the gain a little bit. Not because the EMGs need it, but because I'm rocking such a heavy string gauge here. It makes it I have to kind of dig in a little bit harder. There we go. Let's see if I can angle the guitar so you can see it better here, so I'm not just looking at my shoulder the whole time. There we go, maybe a little bit better, maybe not. If I can not mess up the mic here, that would be cool too. There we go. Yeah, not really much to see here, just a flat black guitar, chrome hardware, EMGs. I'm going to my cheat guitar pick here to get this up to Schaefer speed. This is a Clayton, I think it's called pronounced acetol pick. It's a giant, basically a bass pick. This is 1 millimeter. Yeah, I need to practice more to get back up to that speed. Jeez. I failed you, Matt. I'm sorry. I should probably stop the video now before my playing gets any worse, but yeah, if you guys like the video, comment, subscribe. These long-form videos don't really get very much traction, so if you want to see me do another one, let me know. I'll probably eventually do something similar with the Mark V, hopefully a little better formatted, but yeah, take care.